Well, it's another big one here. Compound men's quarterfinal. India will take on the USA here in Yankton, South Dakota.
Topping podiums for nearly 20 years. Boston Strong from the United States of America, that is Braden Gellenthien, starting number 1. On target, number 2, the incredible man from India, Abhishek Verma.
Well, arguably the toughest draw of the lot. We had the draw just yesterday evening, and when Gellenthien came out of the draw first, there was an audible sigh of relief from Mikey Schlosser and Chris Schaff, knowing they wouldn't face one of the other big contenders for this title. But then when Abhishek Verma's name came out, penultimate name to come out of the pot against Gellenthien, we knew one of the big names of compound archery was going to go out in the quarterfinal. This is a huge matchup, and there's another massive contrast. It's all seriousness on the American side. As Abhishek Verma is all smiles, shoots for fun. And archery's all about what works for you. Gellenthien's been supreme with his serious approach. Verma the same with his smiles. But it's Gellenthien who'll get us underway.
Opening arrows 9.
Looks a bit amused.
Does looked a bit stunned, didn't he? Trust and adjust. If it was a good shot, movie sight. Verma moving around a little bit of wind. Don't think the wind would cause him to go down there, but
same expression on the face of Verma. Let's see how they respond. Oh, look at that, straight back up into the 10, and the yee-haw from the crowd here in rodeo country.
looking way more solid, didn't it? Nice hold, nice and still.
So 28 to start for Gellenthien. Let's keep an eye on that wind. Is that playing a part? Is it just a little gusty? Well, he's hit the 9 for a 27, so Verma trailing after the first end here, and it's still a very curious look on the face of Braden Gellenthien. He's got his wife in the box, Tanya Gellenthien. Picked up bronze in the women's compound. She was shooting for Denmark, of course. Quite interesting to see she's wearing a USA top, but it looks rather large on her.
Well, your coach in the box has to wear the same uniform, I believe. So there can be differences for male and female athletes, but you need to be wearing the same team top.
We'll take a look back over that. Couple of curious arrows to start for the pair of them. Gellenthien correcting back up into the 10, as did Verma, and they both shot 9s to the last. So Gellenthien with the slender 1-point lead. Verma will shoot first in the second end. It's just look, the wind has died off again completely. There's just nothing at all. Need to keep an eye on that.
Still a little bit low, so may need to make a further adjustment. So Braden uses a little finger on his release aid to get it moving, set that shot off. I'm using a thumb trigger. See that wrap around and then just using his back tension. Beautiful shot. Braden's hinge, see that little finger, pulling it round, rotating it, setting it off.
Drifting out from 9 and a 29. Oh, now that has been marked for a measure there. This is an important measure as well, because I know it's only 2 points, but it makes such a big difference, not just to the scoreline, but also to the feeling, the confidence for both of the archers. Mickey, that was, I mean, way too close to call for me, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, points at this stage, I mean, everything. I think that's probably in. I think it's touching the line, so if the judge deems it to be touching the line, it'd be marked up. And like you say, a 1 point lead or a 2 point lead, double the difference kind of thing. It's going to make a good impact for Braden.
Okay, we're going to get into a little bit of geeky detail here. If the arrow is not touching the line, but is as close as it possibly could be without touching it, won't the very fact that the paper target will bend in and make it look like it's touching the line? So how does the judge measure that?
So the judge has to think about where the line would be. So the same circumstance, if there was a hole already there and you've got into the hole, then they would think about where the line was.
So the answer was? I think it was.
I think you got it, yeah.
Set number 3 then, 2 points the difference. Verma shooting first. Now, signs that perhaps Braden Gellenthien's dialed in. Good grouping for Verma.
Yeah, I think just making that adjustment then, perhaps overcorrected, needs to bring them back down again. Braden a little bit shaking, keeping them in the 10 though.
He's gone for a measure, but that one looks even further out than Gellenthien's measure. And that's dropped into the 9 for Gellenthien for a 29. So another important measure coming up here. This is huge. 29 for Braden Gellenthien for sure. We think it's 29 for Abhishek Verma. Well, I certainly do. But we wait for the measure.
Not quite sure what the judge had to say to Braden. The judge at this end just checking.
We have 10-10.
Sounded like 10-10-9.
Certainly did. So 85 for Verma. 87 for Gellenthien, if we are correct. Well, judge having a word with Braden Gellenthien straight after that last end, whilst the measure was going on. We don't quite know why, but we go into the 4th end, and it is the American that is leading by 2 points. 2 ends to go. Verma will shoot first in the 4th.
Just about to see that clear bubble in the front of that scope. Using that to make sure the bow is upright. Not happy with that, was he? As soon as it went, he might have just been aiming off. He might have felt different pressure, which wasn't quite right.
Well, we go back to the judge, having a word with him as well. I mean, has he had to alter anything, perhaps?
Yeah, I mean, the normal things that the judge might talk to you about is if you're starting too early, you've got 20 seconds on each side of the clock. You mustn't draw before your clock started. And the only other thing I can think of is maybe a high draw, but...
It does look like he brings his front arm down.
Yeah.
I mean, are there limitations? You just absolutely can't have your front hand above.
The arrow needs to be parallel. It can't be pointing up in the sky, which would happen if you started with your front arm up first.
Verma finishing with another 29, and it's 29 as well for Gellenthien. Can't get away from Verma. But the problem for Verma is he is struggling to catch up. I wonder whether he's going to be able to do it in the next. 1-1-6 plays 1-1-4. American there leading. Nothing in particular off about his shot by the looks of things. I mean, and a lot of them are going into that same spot, sort of 1 o'clock inside the 10 ring.
Yeah, I think we forget how small this little target is that they're aiming at. Yeah, he's had that one error low, didn't he? I think that was his first error of the match, actually, the 8 low. And the others aren't far out at all, so, you know, just fine margins.
Buzzer official and on the board, Abhishek Verma of India is going to shoot first on target number 2. Rallied by 2 points, 3 shots to go. Who is going to be in the semifinal?
Well, Verma trailing by 2 to Gellenthien. We knew one of these big names was going to go out when the draw was concluded last night. At the moment, it's Verma who's staring at an early bath here in Yankton.
Again, just in those holes low, so something maybe not right in pressure, balance the shot. Braden also going low. I just can't see the conditions here are causing too many issues. We can't see the flags moving around too much.
It's pressure, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's tension, it's stress. It's what it means. Season ender. 3 points the difference going into this final hour. It would have to take a monumental mistake from Gellenthien here for Verma to survive this quarter-final. And another 9 from him for a 28 and a 136. Well, Gellenthien's going to get more than 7 here, surely. Straight into the X for a perfect 30, his second of the match, and a 146 plays 142 for what in the end looked a much more comfortable victory than it actually was. But Gellenthien is through, Verma is out. A warm and gracious congratulations from Abhishek Verma, very popular on the circuit, as is Braden Gellenthien, especially on home soil, and he is through to the semi-finals.